Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In the last video, I shown the mind map of GS4 ethics syllabus. I hope everyone have joined the Telegram group and downloaded the mind map. In this video, I'm going to break down the ethics mind map. So without wasting any time, let's move to the content. Okay, first let's start with breaking down the subject name. What is ethics? Ethics is nothing but realizing what is right or what is wrong. It is based on the set of principles that set by society. Based on the principles that have been set by society, we determine which is right or which is wrong. This is what ethics is about. What is integrity? Integrity is nothing but being honest, even when no one is watching. That's what integrity means. Integrity means being honest. And the final one, aptitude, means inner potential. Or we can say that a natural ability to do something. This is what aptitude defines. So when I combine all the three, what do you understand? It is like inculcating ethics in your life as something like natural ability and following it honestly. This is what subject name signifies. This is the first part of the syllabus, ethics and human interface. This means that following ethical values in day-to-day life. Following human interface, nothing but human interactions. So ethics in human interactions, that is ethics in day-to-day life. Yeah. And the first one is essence of ethics. Here we'll be studying about why we need ethics and what is ethics and what are not ethics. So why we need ethics? Because we need ethics to which acts as a practical guide in our life to determine which is right and which is wrong. To get out of ethical dilemmas, we need ethics. So all these things we'll be discussing in essence of ethics. And next thing is determinants of ethics. Determinants of ethics is nothing but factors which influences ethics in our day-to-day actions. This is what determinants. Factors can be anything. It can be your personality, it can be your family, it can be your society, it can be your education institutions, it can be your friends. All these factors will be discussing in determinants of ethics. The factors which influences ethics in you. This is what determinants of ethics talks about. And next thing is consequences of ethics. Consequences nothing but outcome. What will be the outcome if you or me follow ethics in a day-to-day action? Whether it will be good or it will be bad. That's what this topic deals about. In this ethics and human interface, we'll be dealing with three topics, and these are three topics which I have explained. Next thing is human values. So what is human values? So first of all, what is values? Values are nothing guiding principles of human life. Values are nothing but guiding principles of human life. Principles of human life. We'll be studying here the values that have been inculcated by the leaders, reformers, administrators. We'll be studying their lives, their teaching. Based on that, we'll be inculcating their values and we'll be studying about that. For example, if you take Gandhiji, what value does he possess? He possesses honesty, truth, and non-violence. These are values which can be inculcated from Gandhiji. So likewise, we'll be discussing about various leaders, reformers, administrators, and we'll be taking those values from their lives and we'll be studying them. So first of all, we need to differentiate between these three. Who are leaders, who are reformers, who are administrators? Leaders are nothing but people who are elected by us, who are formulating the policies. Reformers are reformers who reform the society, like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, which you would have studied in modern history. Our administrators are nothing but appointed by the leaders, and they abide by the government rules and regulations to serve the people. So after knowing the differentiation between the three, we will be studying the values that they have inculcated in their lives, and we will be studying about them. Next thing is role of family, society, educational institutions in inculcating values. So we'll be studying about what are the role of family the society, and the educational institutions in inculcating values. So, in human values, we'll be dealing with these two. One, we'll be studying about lives and teachings of leaders, reformers, administrators, and taking the values that they followed, and also how we'll be studying on how the role of family, society, educational institution help to frame value or personality of a human being. Next thing is attitude. This is the next topic, attitude. Attitude is nothing but what do you feel about a situation, or is not in simple words, we can say here, attitude is nothing but behavior. If you see some change in your friend's behavior, you would immediately say he has changed this attitude, this or her attitude. That's what attitude is. In this, we'll be studying content, structure of attitude. Content and structure is nothing but we'll be knowing about what is attitude, how the attitude is formed, and we also will be discussing about 5 components of attitude that are told by the philosophers. And then we'll be discussing about functions of attitude. Here you will be studying about the positive purposes or benefits of attitude. And then there are 2 types of attitude. One is moral and the other one is political. Moral is being always right, yes, being always right and following right principles in your life. And political is having some political ideology or political vision in your attitude. And then social influence, how society influences your attitude, whether it can be in a good way or in a bad way. And also persuasion. Persuasion is nothing, is also one type of social influence. It is a continuous effort by the society or friends to change or remodel your attitude. We'll be discussing everything in the upcoming videos, so no need to worry about it. Just in this video, just have an understanding about what we'll be dealing in the ethics syllabus. I'm just telling out the meanings of each and every topic that has been included in the syllabus, so that you get some basic overview of it. Everything will be discussed detail in our upcoming videos. And next thing is influence and relations. This is nothing but the same thing. How relations and influences, mainly these first 3 things we'll be discussing about what are attitudes and types of it. And next 3 thing is how the society and others influences our attitude in a good or bad way. This is what we'll be dealing with attitude. Next thing is aptitude. As I said before, aptitude is nothing but natural ability to do something, natural ability or your inner potential. Inner potential will be a good app point here. Inner potential. So every civil servants should need to have some inner potential, some natural abilities. So we'll be discussing what are those abilities that civil servants should have. For example, people management. Every civil servant should need to know about how to manage the people, because they'll be working with many peoples across different departments. So that ability should be inculcated. So we'll be discussing about those factors here. Next thing is foundational values of civil servants. Here, foundational values are nothing but important guidelines or important principles that that needs to be followed in civil service departments by a civil service aspirant, by not a civil service aspirant, sorry, by a civil service officer, that is IAS or IPS officer. So first thing is he shouldn't be impartial. That is not being partial, because he can't be partial with his employees, favoring one and then disfavoring other. He needs to be impartial in his day-to-day activities and with his employees, etc. And being integrity. Integrity, as I said before, being honest, even when no one is watching, in delivering the public service. And objectivity. Objectivity is nothing but taking decision rationally. Taking decision rationally. That is, based on a ground situation. Based on a ground situation, you need to take rationally. You can't assume things on your own. Based on a ground situation, you need to analyze it and then take decision accordingly. And then, as a civil service officer, you need to be dedication. You need to dedicate your. You need to be dedicated at your work. You need to show. So then only you can deliver service efficiently. Hence, dedication becomes another important value. We'll be discussing about it. And then the empathy, being in others' shoes, realizing the problem, and then framing a solution for it. Tolerance towards weaker sections. You can't discriminate them. You need to also include them in your decision making and frame policy according to that. That is inclusive society. These are values we'll be discussing in this topic. And then emotional intelligence. Any civil service aspirant needs to be emotionally strong. He can't be emotionally weak. For example, if you consider an IPS officer, if he is emotionally weak, if he gets a culprit, like if he gets a murderer, he will definitely trash him if he's emotionally weak due to his anger. And also, if a IAS officer faces a lot of petitioner in his day-to-day life, and he can't act emotionally. For example, if a poor person comes and explain about his difficulty, he can't just give him money from his own wallet. He needs to be emotionally strong, and based on the rules and guidelines, he needs to take appropriate measures, appropriate policies to help them. So any civil service officer needs to be emotionally strong. So here we'll talk about emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? How to be emotionally intelligent? What are factors involved to become emotionally intelligent? These are things which we'll be discussing here. And what are types of emotions? How to become emotionally strong? What are factors which influence us to be emotionally strong? What are the factors that are needed to become emotionally strong? So these are things we will be discussing here. So public civil service values and ethics in public administration. What is public service? Public service is nothing but service provided by the government to the public, to the people. This is what public service means. Values, as I said before, values are nothing but guiding principles in their own life. When you combine both, it's like service provided by the government to the people in an ethical way. This is what public civil service value and ethics in public administration. We'll be discussing about what is the current status of the public service, what are the problems that they are facing right now, what can be the solution. This topic deals with all this. And then ethical concerns. What are the day-to-day ethical concerns? There can be like ethical concern between the superior would say something and in reality you need to do something. Those are ethical concerns and dilemmas as civil service officer would come across daily, and how he can overcome based on laws, rules, regulations that are already framed by the government. Only then, if he follow this strictly, he can very well overcome these dilemmas. And then accountability. Who should be accountable? Why they need to be accountable in delivering service? And what is ethical governance? Everything will be discussed here. And then strengthening of ethical and moral values. Is there any value that are available that are applicable to the people who are delivering public service? What are those? Then what are those values? And then how to strengthen them? Whether ethical values are followed or not. Then how to strengthen them? One thing is like continuous monitoring. So we'll be discussing all this in this topic. Next thing is ethical issues in international relations. You would have come across international relations in your GS2 syllabus. We'll be discussing ethical issues involved in them. Best thing I could say is Iran-India relationship. Definitely, India needs oil supplies from Iran because they provide oil at cheaper cost. But due to US interference, India couldn't do so. So these kind of ethical issues we'll be discussing in the topic ethical issues in international relations. What are the ethical issues involved and how India can overcome it likewise. And then corporate governance. Even ethics is needed in governing the corporates. So the best example here is Tata versus mystery case. If you're following news regularly, you don't come across this news. Recently, it has been resolved. But these kind of issues we'll be discussing here. What is corporate governance? Why it is required? So how it can be followed, etc. Next thing is probity in governance. Probity is nothing but following the ethical principles in governance. Governance is nothing but to be governing the people. So what are principles, what moral principles that can be followed in governing the people? So concept of public service that we have discussed in the previous topic, again we'll be discussing in another dimension. And then philosophical basis of governance. We'll be starting from Plato, Aristotle, and then in India, if you take Chanakya, everything, whatever they said about governance, we'll be discussing their views in this topic. And then information sharing and transparency. Why information sharing and transparency is needed in providing service to the government? Why it is needed? We'll be discussing what are the problems and what can be the solutions in future. And we'll be discussing about RTA, Citizen Charter, both were introduced by the government for the purpose of information sharing and transparency. And then code of ethics, how it differs from code of work, etc. Work culture, why it is needed in every department. And then quality of service delivery, how it can be improved, what is the current status of quality of service delivery, or how it can be improved in the future. Everything will be discussed here. Next thing is utilization of public funds. This is really important because once you clear UPSC exam, become a civil servant, definitely the government will be allocating certain funds to you to manage your district. How you are going to utilize those funds? Whether you'll be, how you are going to divide it? What are the factors you'll be thinking to before dividing the funds? So likewise, we'll be discussing those dilemmas and then concerns, how we will be dividing, etc. in this utilization of public funds topic. And then challenges of corruption. What is corruption? Whatever you have studied this topic in internal security in brief. Here we'll be discussing ethical ways, like how corruption causing ethical concern to government, and what are the challenges of corruption, how we can overcome it. So this is what we'll be studying in ethics. And then contribution of final thing is contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers. We'll be discussing the contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers to ethics at last, after completing the whole syllabus. That's it for today's video. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe for more ethics and UPSC videos. And if you haven't joined the Telegram group, the link is in the description. Please go ahead and join the Telegram group to get more benefits like daily editorial notes, current affairs notes, static notes, etc. And also the mind map of UPSC ethics syllabus that I have shared already in the Telegram group. Please go and join to get maximum out of this channel. And if you also follow our Instagram, you can feel free to follow this channel, Illuminate IAS. Thanks again. Have a nice day.